Hey everyone, so today it's time for yet another rating video, and I want to talk about something I haven't actually talked about on my channel yet, and that is how to write an epic, extraordinary love story. And more like, not just like a love story, but just like how to create an awesome, extraordinary couple. I'm a hardcore shipper, and romance and ships are like what matters most to me in books. And as a writer, it is something that I really love to work on. I have some advice to share with you, and if you have any video requests related to this, I would love to make more videos on the topic of like couples and everything around it. Plus, Valentine's Day is approaching, and I feel like it's perfect for the theme of love. But without any further ado, let's talk about ways to create an awesome couple that's gonna be really different from all we've seen before and just totally awesome. In romance books, no matter if it's like just romance or like fantasy romance or dystopia or whatever it might be, there are so many patterns, so many cliches, and so many annoying things that are repeated so freaking often. And I feel like to write an extraordinary, really different, awesome love story, you're gonna have to write something that hasn't been written before. And so the first tip I have is notice the cliches, notice the patterns that we've all seen before, and avoid writing that. If there's a ship that you have in mind and it's kind of similar to what you've seen before, try to make it different, you know, because we've all seen like the quiet introvert girl gets together with the supernatural guy who is like super powerful and dark and gorgeous and all that. Like, we've all seen that before, and I don't think we need to see it again. But I think what works great is often if you switch the gender. So in this case, it would be the guy who's introverted and quiet and shy, and the girl who's supernatural and all that. I feel like that already makes a big difference and is definitely more extraordinary than the first one. And so just try to avoid writing things that we've all seen before, or make it special. Change it up a little bit, no matter if it's by switching the gender or making them both like the same sex or whatever it might be. Just change it up. The second thing is kind of related to it, and that's just don't pick the thing that comes on your mind first. This doesn't always work, but this is something that works awesome for me when I'm coming up with like plot twists and especially things like that. And because the thing that comes to your mind first is usually what you've seen before, and so that's why you think of it. Usually the first thought that you have is just something that was already really a lot in your brain, if it makes any sense. But then when you think more about it, that's when you start coming up with more creative things that maybe you haven't seen before and that aren't in every other book. Number 3 is to make an extraordinary ship. You need to make the characters extraordinary and different. And I know that like everyone's different, but at the same time, like some people are similar and whatever. But if you create characters that are like super weird and super different and really not like common and just super special, then it's gonna make the ship more interesting. Because, you know, if the characters are super classic and cliche, then it's gonna be difficult to make the whole ship really interesting and extraordinary. But when you create super cool characters, it's already gonna make the ship cooler, if it makes any sense. Number 4 is something that I am absolutely obsessed with. Give them contrasting personalities, but make sure that they have something strong in common. And this is not very like focus on the extraordinary part of this video, because I mean that's not something that makes them very extraordinary, because I feel like ships like that are really common, like opposites attract, the good and the bad person. Relationships like this are super common and cliche, but I absolutely love that and I'm obsessed with it. But I love contrasting personalities. I feel like it makes the ship so freaking interesting and so fun. But to make them not like the classic cliche bad boy meets good girl, try to not make it like good and bad. I feel like that's really gonna help, because, you know, try to not make them like that. Just try to either give them both like neutral personalities, like neither good nor bad, or they can both be bad, and you know, but still they can be like bad people but totally different, or good people but totally different, you know? Because like, for example, if they're very hateful people or something, one of them can be like super cold and emotionless, and the other one can be like super, just they snap at every moment, they always explode with anger and they get super mad and they beat in everything, but the other one can be super calm and all that stuff. Of course, like I have one ship in my series that's like kind of like a bad person and like a good person. That can work too, and I love it. But don't make them one-dimensional, and I feel like that's just in general, because just don't make them a bad person and a good person, because it never works like that. Like, everyone's kind of course people are most of the time more good than bad or more bad than good, but they always have a bit of both in them. And so make sure that's the case in the ship so that you avoid the cliche good girl, bad boy, or whatever. This can be not related to that at all, but just like if one of them is super extroverted and the other introverted, then that's totally awesome, and you can just, you know, give them a common interest. Like they both adore fandoms and books and movies or TV shows, or they both want to work to make the world a better place, or just anything really, really powerful that binds them together and creates a really strong bond. Number 5 is add drama to the couple that isn't cliche and ridiculously annoying. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in love stories. There are like 3 different ways that I see all the time that writers add drama to the relationship, and that is one of them cheats on the other one or hides something from them, like a secret, or doesn't tell them something or whatever, like something like that. I absolutely hate that. I hate cheating, I hate lies, and I hate secrets, so that's why it annoys me a lot. But also, I feel like there's this kind of drama that's like a total stupid misunderstanding that could be solved in 5 minutes if they just talked about it, but so often they can't even talk about it, and so for like 10 chapters they're not together because they separated because of something ridiculously stupid, and I absolutely hate that. And I know that's not the case with like cheating, for example, but it's just the worst thing in the universe, and I totally hate it. And another way that writers add drama to the relationship is a love triangle, or just another person involved. And I absolutely despise love triangles because I feel like it's the worst thing ever, because it's horrible for all the people involved. And it's also a trope that I've seen so many times that I want to throw the book out of the window every time it comes up again. Just maybe try to avoid these things. I mean, obviously you can write whatever you want. Me personally, it annoys the shit out of me. And I think to write an extraordinary couple, you could try to come up with ways to add drama to the relationship that we haven't all seen before in all the books that we've read. There are so many ways that something can go wrong in a relationship. You know, one of them can do something stupid, or they can like get in danger. They can just get in an argument about something that they maybe don't agree on, or anything like that. Like, if you've ever been in a relationship with someone like this, think about what you've argued over, or what obstacles have been placed in your way, or something that I feel like doesn't really happen that often is like outside obstacles, because that's actually so frustrating, because like external obstacles that the characters can't do anything about, they're extremely frustrating, but I feel like I don't see it often enough, because so often there are obstacles that come in our way that we can't control, like long distance relationships, or just, you know, sometimes life just gets in the way and it fucks everything up. But in the books that I've read, so many of them literally just have such stupid obstacles that, like I said, could be dealt with only if they talked. And so maybe put an obstacle in their way that's like external, that they can't do anything about. It's gonna be super horrible for them and frustrating, but it's definitely gonna, you know, add some drama or just fuck up the relationship for a while. Classic stuff that people argue over or break up over for a while, or anything like that. Maybe they want a different thing in the relationship, like one of them wants kids and the other one doesn't, or they want to live in a different place, or anything like that. I feel like I don't see real life relationship problems in books enough, and so try to like incorporate that in your relationship, because that's really not common in books, and it's definitely gonna make your ship a little more interesting and different from all the other ones. And number 6, to make a special, write a special romance, don't make it a love triangle. You do you, write whatever you want. This is something that is, of course, like, I totally think that, and I want to like tell you that you can write whatever the hell you want, and I don't want to keep you or tell you not to write something. But let's be real, if you want to write an extraordinary romance, a love triangle is not the way to go, because I've read it so many times that, like I said, I want to throw the book out of the window every time it is in a book, because not only love triangles suck so much, but every time it's just the same kind of love triangle, and I can't see it anymore. And so, again, this is something I say every time. If you want to write a love triangle, try to make it different from all the ones we've seen before, but it's still probably not going to be a very extraordinary romance, and so I definitely strongly suggest you not to make it a love triangle, because no matter how awesome it is, that's, in my eyes, gonna fuck it up and gonna make it more like cliche, and that's just my opinion. But I mean, love triangles are so common nowadays that it's really not a new trope that's like, whoa. Yeah, that is all my writing advice for today. If you have any video requests, like I always say, leave them down below in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a brilliant day, and see you soon in another video. Bye!